Is there anything that you'd suggest for people to help encourage other people around them to also keep challenging themselves and
Mhm.
keep trying to see other people's perspectives?
I'm always for, uncomfortable conversations. I'm also really big on honest conversations. Um, but also I think that like the places I've worked allowed that to happen. They're more, as I said, more relaxed. It's more of a group approach to whatever the overall goal is. So having like those conversations during staff meetings or being able to, go to, let's say, my shelter manager and kind of highlight like this is happening. We need to like do a workshop on this. Something that I've done in the past where I've observed something or like a trend that's happening around staff and like clientels in the shelter or wherever. And I would maybe, find like a workshop or a training. It's like we should do this as a group, without highlighting specifically, what I'm seeing. I like could we do this? Is this something that we can kind of fit into a staff meeting? And I'm sure like there are different approaches to even having that conversation. And depending on where you work, like it will be different. Like a lot of places are either really open to those conversations or they're very like hush hush about because
Like one or the other?
yeah, so it's literally and I've worked in both settings. So it's always interesting when I have to like kind of step back and it's like, what is the setup of this place that I'm in now? The one that I'm thinking of, it was very open door, open conversation, say it as it is. So we would always have like really blunt conversations with each other. So it was easier to be like, for example, the example that you said about like necessarily challenging someone's perspective on something, like those conversations have come up before where I've heard a staff member say, like, I hear what you're saying, but if you look at it from this perspective, this person might feel like you're kind of, trying to rule them or oppress them or whatever the language was. But sitting there and watching that happen, I was like, so it is doable. You just have to, the people that you work with, you all have, I feel like you have to have a collective agreement that the words being said aren't to kind of dig at you as a person. It's just maybe there's other ways that you could do this or give it a try, or. So it's, and I think that group that we had, everyone was very, aware of themselves and honest with each other. So it worked. It was more collaborative. It felt more family as opposed to I'm just showing up to work to get paid, and I've also been in that situation where having those conversations like pulling teeth. So it's, yeah, I think I would say kind of watch the space and try to understand the workplace culture and see how to approach it. But I do think having those conversations is important. And I think for me personally, that would be the best way I would approach it.
Still worth it to do something, even if it's a
Yeah.
hard workplace to do it in.
Oh, yeah. 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 Whether it's, like individual, like you go talk to the actual person or you talk to the person with your ED present. So it's not, like first for safety reasons also because, things get said, things get misinterpreted. So it's always, important to have or HR, whoever, whatever your agency setup is. And it helps you to be more comfortable in that setting as well. You have to be there so it makes sense that you're comfortable where you are so that you can, do that job well. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking out for our clients and we're all that's the goal, right? So we would assume and hope that everyone else also has that same goal in mind. So